Hi, Mike Delisio from Solo Mode Games. Today I'm doing a solo playthrough of Role Player, a dice drafting, dice manipulation, dice placement game set in a RPG setting. The theme is that you are creating a typical role-playing character and you're going to be rolling dice and placing them to try to meet particular alignment goals, and you're going to be drafting cards that represent armor or different skills and abilities that your character may have. It's a really interesting theme to put on top of a dice drafting game, and hopefully you get a pretty good idea of how it works when we play through it. So let's head on over to the table and take a look. Okay, here we have a solo setup for Role Player. The solo setup is very similar to the multiplayer setup. There really is only two differences. The first difference is that you remove one gold die, which is going to be considered the enemy die, and you create a trash pile, which is going to be separate from a discard pile that you have in the market. In a multiplayer game, you just have a discard pile, you don't have a trash pile, and you don't have an enemy die. I chose the Dragonkin as my character here, and then I randomly chose a green die out of the bag, which meant I could have been either a ranger, see if we can get that in focus, there we go, or a druid. I went ahead and went with a ranger, and the ranger skill is that I gain 1 gold after using a skill card. So I placed that on my class, and what this really does is it gives you a range that you're looking for all of the different attributes. So for my strength attribute, I want to be between a 14 and a 15, and if I am, I'll get 2 points. Dexterity, I need to be between a 16 and 17. Constitution is the big one. I'll get 4 points if I can get it at exactly 18. The intelligence, if it's higher than 14, I get 1 point. Wisdom between 15, well, either 15 or 16, I'll get 2 stars or 2 points. And my charisma, if it's anything above 14, I'll get 1 point. So I'll place that there, put a little green marker to remind myself. I randomly chose a backstory, which was that of a craftsman. And the way that this is going to work is that in this grid here on my player board, if I can get colored dice of the same color in these alignments, I'm going to get a particular number of points at the end of the game. So if I'm able to get a white die here, blue die here, green die here, etc., if I'm able to get 2 to 3 of those in the right spots, I'll get 1 point at the end of the game. 4 to 5 of them, I'll get 3 points at the end of the game, and if I get all 6, I'll get 6 points. So that's my backstory. I am a craftsman ranger dragon, and my alignment was randomly chosen. I am a maniac, apparently. Well, you know, dragon blood, it can be a little bit dicey at times. And this is going to move around. The marker will start in the center, and by playing skill cards, that will move the square on the alignment, and if I can get it in the bottom right there at the end of the game, I'll get 3 points. I'll explain as I'm going along. This starts in the center. I'll explain as I'm going along the rules. It's a very simple game, but there's a lot to think about. I'm going to go very quickly with my moves because it's not interesting to sit and watch somebody ponder, which means I probably will not play terribly well. I can use that as my excuse now when I score horribly. The only other setup is that I've got my 5 gold that I start with over here. So I am a maniac dragon ranger craftsman. So, you know, I'm struggling to figure out how a dragon's going to be able to wield a bow, but hey, we're going to suspend some disbelief here. First thing I do is I randomly draw 6 dice out of this bag. And this is going to be my starting 6 dice that I place in my attribute rows. All right. So I'm drawing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right. I'm going to roll those, and then I'm going to place them wherever I would like, starting from the left-hand side on all of these. You can't start in the middle or the right. You've got to start in the leftmost space, and then I'm going to place them wherever I like. Now, since green is my color, my class color, I'm going to get 1 point at the end of the game for every green die that I've placed. All right, so let me go ahead and roll these. Okay, now I know I want to put my white die here because that fits my craftsman spot. I've got a red die here in the second spot, a black die in the intelligence spot. So maybe what I'm going to do is put a red die here, black die here. My intelligence just needs to be 14 plus. I'm already at 10 there. I'll put a black die here, and I'll put a red die here. So I've already got 1, 2, 3 of these dice placed in correct places, which if I can keep them there at the end of the game is a point. This green die, I want to have a high constitution, so I'm going to place that here, although I eventually am going to want to get another green die right there. Okay, so that was the first part of the setup, or the last part I should say of the setup. Now what I do is you go through this play sequence. It's very simple. Let me get this in focus here a moment. And we're focusing. There we go. You roll dice, you choose dice, you go to the market, and then you have a cleanup phase. And I'll explain those. It's very simple. We've got 3 initiative cards here, which are going to determine what order you choose these cards. Those cards can give you abilities, they can give you points at the end of the game, and they can also potentially move this square around on your alignment sheet. All right. Also, with my Ranger card, I can gain a gold every time I use a skill card. So I randomly draw 3 dice out of here, okay? I roll them and I put them in numeric order from lowest to highest. Now these are both 5, so I get to choose what order I'm going to put them in. I'm going to put this 5 here because when you place a gold die, you get 1 gold. When you place any die in this last row and it's denoted with a gold square, you're going to get a gold as well. So there's a gold piece on the 2 card, and that means that you get a gold for going to that, taking that initiative card. So potentially you can get a couple of gold there, and that's what I'm likely going to do. All right. So I will take this gold. I will take this die. Where do I want to place this? I would like to, I'd like to place here because I want it to be high. When you place a die in each row, there's an associated action that you can take. In the strength row, if you place a die here, you can change the face of any other die. All right. So that's that particular ability. I'm double checking myself just to make sure that I'm getting all of these correct, but I'm pretty sure. Placing a die allows the player to change the face value of any die, okay, to the opposite die, face. That's what I want to make sure. It's to the opposite face. It's not to any face, okay? When you place in the dexterity row, you can exchange the placement of 2 dice just without changing their face values, all right? The Constitution allows you to raise the amount or lower the amount of 1, but it doesn't wrap, so you can't make a 6 into a 1 or a 1 into a 6. The Intelligence allows you to choose any other die and re-roll it. The Wisdom allows you to move the tracking token on your alignment card, and the Charisma allows you to take one of these chips, which basically allows you to buy a card from the market only during that turn for 1 less gold. All right, so let me go ahead and place here. I'm going to raise this to a 5. All right, and now I'm going to get a gold for placing that gold die. I'm going to make sure it's not 2 gold. It is 2 gold. You get 2 gold when you place a gold die. You get 1 gold for placing it here. Also, if you ever trash a market card, or discard a market card, not trash, you get 2 gold for that. So I got my 2 gold for placing that, and now it will be time for the market. Now, since I did not choose the first initiative card, that means the enemy die is going to roll. If I ever choose this first die, I'll get first chance at the market cards. I know they'll all be available to me, but it's going to be the lowest value die, which usually is not good. So, since this was the second card I chose, I have to roll the enemy die. All right. So what I do is roll this. It's a 2, and that means the middle card goes to the trash pile. All right. So now I can't buy the sleight of hand card. I can buy one of these 2 cards. I've got Cure Wound, which will allow me, if I choose to use it as a skill, to increase the face value of 1 die of my class color by 1, so I can change green dice up. The leather gloves are armor, and they're part of a set collection, which basically, if you get, it's part of the leather set. If you get more leather armor, you get 1, 2, 3, or 4 of them, you'll get points, and an extra point if it's worn by the purple or black classes. Well, I'm not. I'm a green class. So I think what I'm going to do is pay 3, go ahead and buy the Cure Wounds, because this will also allow me, if I use it, to gain a skill, or gain a gold, because I gain a gold whenever I use a skill card. All right. So that was the market phase. Now we clean up. This gets removed. All dice go back to the dice bag except for the enemy die. All right. And we add a gold to the initiative card, the second initiative card, and we go again. So here's 3 more dice. So you can see this is going to go pretty quickly. All right. There we go. So we've got 2, 3, and 4. Now I'm going to take that green die because it is my class color. I'll be able to use this Cure Wounds to increase the face value of it. And I'm going to want to put it right here because it's going to allow me to raise the face of another die, and which I'll probably actually use it to raise the face of this die. And if I wanted to, I can change it again. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it here. I get 1 gold for placing it in the green spot. That's also going to fit that. All right. I'm going to use this ability to change this to a 6. Okay. I'm making sure there's no... yeah, I can use the skill card at any time. All right. So I'm going to use the skill card now. I'm going to tap it to show that I have used it. I'm going to increase the face value of this because it's my class color to a 5. And I have to move my attribute marker up. Now, that means that I will not be able to use this card again until I get that marker down, because you can't use a skill card if you cannot move it in the corresponding direction. Now, I did use a skill card, so I get a gold for my ranger ability. All right, so that was basically my whole dice placement. Now, since I chose number 3, I'm going to roll the enemy. Oh, actually, maybe putting out the market cards would have been good. There we go. It really wouldn't have mattered, to be honest with you. I was taking that one no matter what. So now I'm going to roll the enemy die. I got a 6. So 5 or 6, I'm going to move the rightmost card in the market pile to the trash. All right. Okay, so I've got a longsword, which is going to allow me to add 1 value to all dice of my class color. Or I gain 3 points for each column on my character sheet with 4 or more dice of the same color. Well, right now, that's not looking good for me because I've got all different colors so far. Unless I can get a bunch of greens here, I don't see myself being able to follow that. So I think what I'll do is I'll pay 3. I don't have to buy a card. I can actually trash one of these. I keep saying trash. I can discard one of these cards to get 2 gold. And that might be an idea because you have to use gold for better cards. As this market pile goes down, the cards get better and better and they become more and more expensive. That would get me to 18 here, which is what I need. Actually, You know what? I'm just going to trash. I'll trash. I keep saying trash. I shouldn't say trash because in the solo game that means something different. I'm going to discard the longsword. I'll get 2 gold. Save it for something better. All right. This is going to get discarded. This is this is going to come back. These are going to go back in the bag. Enemy die goes here. All right. 3 new dice. Put out some market cards. We've got Foolish, Pickpocket, and a Blessed Mace. Okay, well, the Blessed Mace is interesting because whenever a player discards a card from the market, gain 1 gold. So basically what this would mean, since I'm the only player, if I discard a card, instead of gaining 2 gold, I would gain 3 gold every time, which is, you know, a nice way to get gold. All right, so I've got 4, 4, and 5. I probably am going to go ahead and do this again and take that that green die because it it will allow me to get points. I get points on my board for every time that there's a green die. So I'm going to go ahead and place this here in my wisdom because that's going to allow me to move my marker in any direction I like. So I'm going to move it down in case I want to use my skill again at some point. I don't think I necessarily want to use it this turn. All right, so I placed that there. Now I'm going to roll the enemy die. It is a 5, and I believe that means that the rightmost card is going to the trash pile, which is a shame because I very likely would have bought that Blessed Mace. So now I've got an option here. Foolish, I'll gain 2 points at the end of the game if either my intelligence or wisdom is 8 or less. Well, that's not likely. My intelligence is already over 8. My wisdom is on its way. I could take this Pickpocket, which will decrease the face value of 1 die to gain 2 gold. I don't know if I'm going to use that. I could use it down here because my charisma only has to be 14. Yeah, I'll go ahead and buy that. I'll buy the Pickpocket. It's going to cost me 2. All right. And now if I wanted to use that at any point, I can. And I might use it just to get myself down into this bottom row so that I can hopefully by the end of the game get myself onto that 3 spot. All right, so this is going to go ahead and get discarded. These come back to the bag. I don't have to replace that because I haven't been choosing it. Let me go ahead and refill that. I always seem to want to forget that. We've got a quarterstaff, loyal. Ooh, loyal is nice because you get an extra 4 points if you have completed all of your attribute goals, but it is not easy to complete all of your attribute goals. All right. So 3 dice here. All right, 2, 3, and 4. All right, well, let's see here. These are all relatively low. I should be making sure I'm paying attention to my placement still. Okay, so far I've got all of my placements still okay. All right, well, how important are these cards to me? On the trait cards, you'll also notice that they've got a marker here that will determine when you purchase it, if you like. Sorry, the focus is out there. When you purchase it, if you like, you can choose to move your marker in that direction. Unlike a skill, it's not mandatory, it's optional. And in my case, if I were to buy this, I wouldn't want to do that because that would move me into a -1 spot on my board down here. But I do like that card. If I'm able to get all of my attribute, I lost my class. Backstory, attribute. Oh yeah, if I'm able to get all of my attribute, that's what that means. If I'm able to get them all completed, I get an extra 4. Here you gain an extra 2 gold when you complete an attribute row, and I've already completed 1. So this could potentially get me 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 gold by the end of the game. It takes up both of my weapon spots because it has 2 hands there, and you can only have 2 hands worth. And then I've got chain leggings, which is part of a, I'm waiting for a set of armor that gives me a bonus towards the green. So I'm holding off on that. I'm going to go ahead and buy this armor, or this trait, this loyal. The question is, if I want to get that for sure, I have to take this because that'll give me first shot. My charisma is at 12. Yeah, if I put this in the charisma spot, then I'm going to hit that 14. Okay, so I'll do that. I take that. I'm going to get a gold for placing in that last spot. I'm going to get this, which is going to allow me to purchase that loyal card for 2 instead of 3. All right. I'll go. I don't have to roll the die because I chose the lowest one. I'll turn in my token right away because I have to use it this turn. I'll buy this loyal card, which is a trait, which goes underneath my board there. And I'm going to choose not to move it to the left because I don't want to do that. I'll pay 2 gold instead of 3. Don't have to trash any cards. These just get discarded. All right, these are going to go back. I don't want to use any of my skills at this point. I'm going to move this up just a little bit, just so you can see I've got a trait card down there. All right, here we go. Let's put out a new market. We're still in the first. Market cards are broken into 2 types. You've got in the upper right here, 1 dot and then 2 dot. And the 2 dot cards are more powerful and cost more. You shuffle the game, and at the beginning of the game, you separate the 1 dot from the 2 dot cards, shuffle them separately, put the 1 dot cards on top of the 2 dot cards. I'll let you know when we get into those. We're still in the 1 dot cards. I got to think here soon, maybe on the next round, we'll be into the 2 dot cards. The game will end when I have filled up my attributes completely. All right. So let's draw our 3 dice. All right, 2, 5, and 5. I'm going to put, I think, the green here because I will likely take that one and go there. All right, so let's take this gold. Let's take this green. And let's see what we've got. I would like to start doing here. So I'll put green in the dexterity spot. That means that now with the dragonkin, I'm gonna have to subtract 2 from my total. So it's actually gonna be very tough. I'm gonna have to somehow make this 18 really to get this up there, which is gonna be challenging to say the least. I can switch 2 dice, and I might want to just, I would love to switch, well, I could switch this one with that one. So I think I'm going to do that. Switch 2 dice. Now make sure I can switch the dice that I just placed. I want to make sure I'm doing that correctly. Yeah, it just says any 2 dice. So I placed this one. Now I'm going to switch this one with this one. All right. And now I don't get first shot at the cards. I have to roll the enemy die since I took the number 2 initiative. That rolled off the table. Okay, a 5. If 4 through 6 do nothing. So thankfully I'm okay in this case. All right. When selecting an initiative card with gold on it, you can gain an additional gold. You can gain 2 points for each attribute row with 3 of the same color dice. I don't think that's going to happen. And gain 2 gold for each of your attribute scores as 5 or less. That's certainly not going to happen. This could be nice. Is it worth 2 gold? It depends on how often I'd be picking that 2 initiative. It could potentially be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I chose that number 2 card every single time, I'd get 7 gold. I'm spending 2 for it. I think I'm going to wait. I'm going to go ahead and discard this to get 2 gold. All right. Because I want to save up gold for the expensive cards that are going to be coming out here soon. Do I want to use either of my skills? I could potentially do this one. I'd lower it by 1 to gain 2 gold, but I'm not going to do that. There's no reason to. I don't need to, so I'm not going to. These go ahead and get discarded. These are going to go back in the bag. We're going to put out 3 new market cards. We're still on the 1 dot. All right, I'm going to put a gold on the number 2 initiative card. We've got climb. Before or after selecting an initiative card, you can flip all dice in the dice pool to their opposite sides and reorder them. You can get the jewel dagger when you're scoring attribute goals, +1 value to all gold dice. Now that could be nice. The only problem here is that, oh, that would actually be perfect for this, because that would get me to 18 right there, because that would be 7. When scoring attribute goals, you can add +2 or -2 to any single attribute. Oh boy, that would be nice too for this one. So I'm kind of going between those two. So I know I'll have the option of one of those two, so let's go ahead and roll 3 dice. So we've got 1, 5, and 5. I will likely do that and that. All right, so I think I'm going to go ahead and take this because I know I'd like either of those. I'll get one of them. I'll place this dice. Let's go here. That'll allow me to swap any 2 if I want to. First of all, I'm going to gain 2 gold for placing that. Do I want to swap any dice? This one's okay. I really don't think I want to at this point. I don't think I want to. All right. So now I have to roll the die because I chose that second. 6, nothing's going to happen. So now I do have a choice. Do I want the jewel dagger or do I want this courageous? This will allow, if I take the jewel dagger, this will allow me to immediately, right now, be okay with this constitution roll, which is 4 points. It will also allow me to more easily, yeah, I think I've got to go for this. I've got to go for this. So I'll pay 3 to get that jewel dagger. These are going to go to the discard pile. I have a feeling that number 2 dot cards are going to be coming out very soon. I'll replace the gold on the number 2 initiative. And here we go. 3. Oh, let me put out the market cards. Yep, we're into the 2 dots now. We've got Chain Vibrances, Chain Tunic, and Famous. I can double the effect of my alignment card, which is here, which right now would be 0 because twice of 0 is still 0. But if I can get it down there and I had that, that'd be 6 points, but that's 6 gold to buy. Don't know that that is worth it to me. Don't know. All right. Gonna roll 3 dice. All right, here we go. We're gonna go 2, 4, and 6. I'm likely gonna take that blue die because I need it to go into this dexterity spot for my backstory card. So that is probably what I'm gonna do. Go ahead and go here. That allows me to move 2 dice around. I don't think I want to do that. I'm going to get 1 gold for placing in that 3rd spot. And now I have to roll the enemy dice, which is actually, rolling the enemy die is okay here because I really don't know that I want any of those. I keep waiting for market cards that I really would like. So I roll a 3, and that means the middle card goes to the trash pile. I am more than likely going to just discard one of these. This works best with red and white classes. I might be hurting myself by not getting any armor, but I haven't seen any green armor come out yet. That at least gives me a bonus. So I'll go ahead and trash. I keep saying trash. I'm going to discard that for 2 gold. All right. This is going to get discarded. These are going to go away. We put out 3 new market cards. 5 more turns. We get a longbow, which I would not be able to get unless I got rid of my jewel dagger. Honorable, which is just 3 points, and I've got 7 gold. And then move silently, which instead of purchasing from the market, you can purchase a card from the market discard pile, which there's probably some decent stuff in there. I don't know. All right, let's go ahead and roll 3 dice. All right, so we've got a 2, a 3, and a 4. At this point, none of these dice are going to fulfill. The last die that I need to place is a purple in this spot. So I probably need to start placing in the wisdom so that I can set myself up for when a purple comes. So that's likely what I'm going to do. I will likely take this blue 4, place it here. That will allow me to move my alignment. I think I'm going to move it here so that I can, if I need to, use my pickpocket skill to move me down there. All right, so I went ahead and placed that. Now I'm going to have to roll the enemy die. It is a 1, which the leftmost card is going to go to the trash pile, which means nothing to me because I'm not going to use that because that takes both hands. So 2, 4, 6, 7. I'm going to go ahead and buy that honorable card. That's expensive, but it's 3 free points. It's not free. It's 3 points for 7 gold. It's not free by any means. I'm not going to use the trade ability and move it up. Okay, this is going to get discarded. These are going to go back to the bag. Let's put out 3 new market cards. We got a Mystical. Finally, something that works. Oh, here we go. Both, of course. 2 of these, which means I can't get both, which is a real bummer because that would have been potentially 3 points right there, but there should be at least 1 more Mystic card in the set, so I will likely try to get one of those. Well, I'll be sure to get one of them. Okay, let's roll these. Oops, let's try that again. All right, so 1, 3, and 6. I'd like to get that 3 for this, but it's not gonna get me to where I need to be because this would be 9. That would get me to 12, and I would need to be between 15 and 16. So if I use that gold die there, that would be great, but I'll lose. Wow, I'd lose 3 points by doing that because you get 3 points for 4 to 5, 6 if you get all 6. So it's almost worth it to me because I only get 2 points here. I'd get 3 points here. I think it makes more sense for me to go for my attribute goal because especially my loyal gives me 4 extra points if I've contributed all my attribute goals. So I feel like I have to do that. So I'll take this gold. I will take this purple 3, place it there, which is going to give me another gold because I placed it in that last spot. And now I can move my marker down, so I'll do that. And now that puts me on the 3 spot. So hopefully I can just keep it there. If I don't use any more skills, I can do that. Now I roll the enemy die. It is a 4. The middle card is going to go to the trash pile. I'll buy the Mystic Cowl. That's going to at least give me 2 points. So I'll spend my 4. All right. This goes into my armor spot. This gets discarded. These go back to the bag. We put out some new market cards. Envious, Leather Greaves, and Greedy. This gives me a point for every 2 gold dice, so I'd get 2 points right there. If I had a lot of gold at the end of the game, that would give me some points. So I don't have any gold. I don't have enough to buy any of those, so the point is really moot unless I place a gold die, which is possible. Let me go ahead and put that gold up there. Let me roll 3 dice. Move the enemy die back where it belongs. All right, here we go. So we've got 2, 5, and 6. All right, well, let's see here. My intelligence only gives me 1 point. However, if I complete it there, oh, I wasn't thinking correctly. This was if I complete all my attribute goals, I'd get an extra 4 points. So I really kind of didn't do the smartest thing there. I could move this up to, no I can't. I could re-roll by putting 1 in here. All right, so let's see here. Do I want to do that? Or do I want to do this? I gave 1 value to every gold die. 10, 11, 12. That would get me to 13, which is not quite enough. But I could re-roll it, or when I place there, I could change that to a 5. So maybe I'll do that. Get some gold. I'm going to place this here. I get 2 for placing it there. I get 1 extra for placing it in the 3rd row. That gives me 3 gold, and I get first choice at cards. Nothing's going to get taken away. I think I'm going to buy the Envious and hope. Well, no, I'm going to hold off. I'm going to go ahead and discard that. Get 2 gold. Hope a good card comes up that I want to afford. All right. Nothing's going to get burned because I took the first initiative card. These are going to go back. Only 2 more turns left. Got Clumsy, Leather Pauldron, and the Tower Shield. Now, cards are removed randomly from the market deck at the beginning of the game. I don't know what they are, so it's possible that that third Mystic card is not even in the deck. It's a risk you've got to take. All right, 3 dice. 1, 2, and 4. None of these are terrific. I'm likely going to take that 4 and then flip that to the opposite side. All right, so let's do that. We'll place that here. I will change this. Don't want to do that. Let me make sure that everything else is in line. This is okay. This is okay because that's going to be a 7 with my jewel dagger. This would not be okay. I could do that now. 9, 10, 11, 12. I can add that, make that a 13. It only adds 1 to that. And it still keeps me short. Well, let's go ahead and do this because I know this will at least get me a point. So I change that to a 5. All right. I took the third initiative, so I'm going to roll the enemy dice. It's a 6, which means that this goes to the trash pile. This would have counted as an additional armor for an incomplete set when scoring armor cards. So that would have been nice for that. Is my dexterity or charisma going to be 8 or less? It will not. So I'm going to go ahead and just discard that for 2. And then that's going to get discarded. These are going to go back. This is the last turn of the game. Steadfast, 2 points for each weapon card I've got. I've got 1 weapon. Yeah, so that's going to be the card I want. Okay. This is the enemy die. It goes back. All right. All right, so 2, 5, 6. I need a 14 or a 15 here. I'm going to add 2 to it. All right. I may not have accounted for this -2 on the dexterity. I may be out of luck there. We'll find out. Okay. Let's see. 15. I need to be either 14 or 15. So if I use that red 10, that's going to take me too much. If I get this 2, or it's going to make me 1 short. Oh, that's a shame. Although I can switch. That wouldn't work. 13 if I made 6. I think that would work. Oh, maybe not. Let's see. If I made this, if I put this down, oh, it has to be another dice. So if I had 6, 10, yeah, that would work. Okay, I'm going to take this 6, place it there, get a gold. This is going to, I'm going to choose this to flip over. So if I'm adding 2 to this, I'm going to get 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, which will do that. Now I have to roll an enemy die. The 2, the leftmost card goes to the trash pile, which is a shame. That is the one I would have chosen. I'm going to spend 3, get that nimble card. Gives me a point. And that is end of the game. So now scoring is listed down here at the bottom. The first thing you're going to do is score your attribute goals. So I'm going to get out my calculator here. All right. And my attribute goals are along here. Okay. So I needed to get between 14 or 15. This you add 2. So 10, 12 plus 2 is 14. So I got 2 points there. This needed to be 16 or 17, but you have to subtract 2. So 12 and 5 is 17, minus 2 is 15, but plus 1 to the gold dice, so I got it. So that's 2 points there. Here, this needs to be exactly 18. This is a 7 because of my jewel dagger. 13 and 5 is 18, so I get 4 points there. This needs to be between, or no, this needs to be just more than 14. It is actually 16 with my jewel dagger, so that gives me 1 point there. This needs to be between 15 and 16. This is the one that got me, which is a real shame. 9, 10, 11, 12. So I didn't get that. This needs to be more than 14, which it is. So I get 1 point for that. And unfortunately, because I didn't get all of my attribute goals, I'm going to lose the 4 points on my loyal card. So class color dice. Now you get, I believe it's 1 point. I'm going to double check myself here to make sure. 1 point. So I am green. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points added to that. My alignment card is here. I'm 3 points for that. All right. Then we go to the backstory card, which is here. All right. I got all of those. I got a white here, blue here, green here, black here, purple here, and red here. So I got all 6. That's 6 points. All right. My armor cards, I actually only got 1 plus 1 for being green. And then my trait cards. I wish I could have got those 4. I could not, so I'm getting 4 points. That gets me to 30 points. And let's see what that says on here. Oh, it gets me just into the luminary. I just got into the luminary. All right, I'll take it. I'll take it. That's not too bad for me, honestly. All right, so there you have Role Player. Hopefully you got a pretty good idea on how the game is played. It plays pretty quickly. It sets up and tears down quickly, especially in the solo game. So thank you so much for your time. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great day.